Alright guys, it's Chatterbox Reviews, coming at you guys with The Walking Dead, Season 8, Episode 11, Review. Alright, so I thought this episode was very well done. It answered some questions for sure, just like last week actually. It answered some questions, didn't progress the plot too much, like nothing, big happened. But for sure answered some questions that we had. Some things were a little bit kind of repetitive, kind of getting onto the season 7 vibe a little bit in this one. The last two episodes I thought were very good in the fact that they kind of stayed away from that, and it was really like focused in, and there was a lot of action, what All Out War should be. But this one, they had a couple storylines in this one that I just found to be kind of not irrelevant, but they just in an All Out War season. Is that really what you want to be showing us in the episode? That sort of stuff. So I just felt like this one had a couple of those in it that the last two didn't. But still, a very good episode, I thought. I did like last week's better. A lot of people, they were saying, and I heard from a few of my friends that they didn't really like the characters where they like put the character name and then had a sequence with them. So not a lot of people like that. And I totally get that, right? I totally get that for sure. And I kind of agree. I don't know. I'm kind of impartial on it. I didn't mind it, right? I thought it was okay. I didn't think it took away from anything, but I didn't think it really added anything to the episode. So, but yeah, anyways, I like last week's a little bit better, but this one for sure was good. So, yep, let's get into this recap a little bit. And, of course, then at the end, a little rating. I'll go over some more of my overall thoughts and favorite characters. So, also, I would like to apologize for this one being a little late. Excuse me, I'm going for Monday and Sunday night for Walking Dead in the future. I was away for the weekend this weekend, so I wasn't at home, so I couldn't do the reviews. But anyways, and that again with American Crime Story as well. I wasn't home since Friday, so I didn't get a chance to do that one either. So anyways, I'm back at it, and let's get into it. So this one starts off with Daryl leading the group from Alexandria to the hilltop, and honestly, I was a bit surprised here because in the finale, the mid-season finale, when they all these people are in the sewer system, it's like, and then all of a sudden you see Daryl leading this group, and there's like, I'd say at least 30 people in it, maybe 20 to 30 people, and it's like, where were these guys in the sewers? Like, I thought there was only like 8 to 10 survivors in the sewers, and all of a sudden now we have this big group of 20 to 30, so I don't know if there was like another pipe that went the other way where all these other characters were, or maybe I just completely missed them, I don't know, but to me, this was a bit surprising. It's like, oh, so these people are still alive or whatever. So pretty much no one died in Alexandria from this explosion and stuff. Like, pretty much everyone got out alive. Well, Carl died, but not as a result of the Saviors. So, I don't know. Like, yeah, I was really perplexed by that. But anyway, so he's leading this group. So we actually have quite a few more numbers than I thought we did, which is good. And honestly, we might be even matching the Saviors right now, right? Because the Saviors lost so many in The Damned and in Monsters as well. The Kingdom group basically took out a whole group. In The Damned, I think 2 outposts were taken out. So Saviors they basically just have the Sanctuary. I'm pretty sure all the outposts are gone. So they pretty much have the Saviors that are in the Sanctuary, which is probably maybe even close to 100 people, which is still a lot, but I feel like we're getting closer. But anyway, so then we see a little bit above them, and we hear the Saviors on the bridge talking about Gabriel and Carson escaping. So they did escape, and they did make it out, thanks to Eugene, who dropped the key, and then also gave the guard diarrhea or something like that so he can be on watch. And then we see the two of them in the car driving towards the hilltop, and we know that they're lost. And then we have that little walker that's crawling on the ground with a little chain. And, of course, that's a little foreshadowing to later in the episode. So I thought that was a little cool thing there. Walking Dead has a lot of cool stuff with that, especially with walkers, about, like, foreshadowing and just little cool little things. 'Cause if you pick up on them, they're really interesting, and you kind of enjoy it, but if you don't, it's not a big deal either, right? So it's just kind of really cool. I guess Easter eggs you would call them, but not quite to that extent. So anyways, then we see Tara, and she was really annoying in this episode. I know a lot of fans on Twitter were saying this, that she's the most annoying character right now, and I agree. I think this was pretty annoying, pretty repetitive. I feel like they should have gave this to someone else. I feel like Yeah, I mean, Tara lost Denise, right? And sorry, I'm just talking about the question. Daryl. Jeez, Tara questions Daryl about keeping Dwight alive, so that's what I'm talking about. But yeah, Tara lost Denise and Dwight killed Denise. But I feel like Daryl would be, and like Daryl's like kind of standing up for Dwight in this scenario against Tara, and it's like, Daryl's probably lost the most because of Dwight, right? He's been shot by Dwight. I mean, Dwight basically took his whole personality. He tortured Daryl for a whole half season, which would have probably been like about a week and a bit in the show. So yeah, I mean, I feel like Daryl, I don't know why he's siding with Dwight in this. This storyline just didn't really make a lot of sense to me. But anyways, Tara questions Daryl about keeping Dwight alive when they're walking in the forest there. Like I said, I don't really agree with her. I think that, yeah, he killed Denise, and I think for retribution or revenge, she should kill him, right? I mean, that's just kind of how the world works in The Walking Dead, or how it has been working recently, is an eye for an eye sort of thing, right? So I get that, but I also just think that Dwight has done a lot for them and helped them out. I don't know why she still doesn't trust him, right? I feel like she says that she doesn't trust him just because she wants to get him back for killing Denise, right? So I don't like, because he's pretty trustable. He's done a lot of good things for them. So I don't know. I don't agree with her. But then we see Henry, Morgan, and Carol get back to the hilltop. So they're back there. They've escaped. I was actually worried about them because last episode Negan said he sent a search team out for them. So obviously they escaped from the kingdom, faster than that search team got there. And then we see the effects of what happened last episode on Henry. He's kind of a little bit down, and Carol and Morgan are more Carol than Morgan, but Morgan a little bit too. Carol's kind of looking down on him, and she's kind of villainizing him, right? And he's just a little kid. He doesn't really even grasp what he has just done, killing Gavin, and a ruthless killing as well. So we kind of see that little aftermath, and I feel like we're going to see that for the rest of the half season for sure with Henry. I feel like, this is a big thing, right? A big event for him, and to see, what it does to him is going to be very, very, insightful, or, it's going to help us, learn what's going to happen in the future to him. So, and then we see that long-haired savior. His name's Jared. Oh, I hate this guy. I mean, I really want this guy to be dead by the end of this season. I really hope he is. I really hope he's the next guy that Maggie just brings out and just shoots him dead. I really, really hate this guy. But anyways, he hollers out at them, saying something like, you guys are going to lose the war anyways. The Saviors are going to win. Something stupid like that. Like, Carol or Morgan should have just gunned him down right there. But anyways, then Henry, I thought this was, like, so badass. I love this. Henry then asked which one killed his brother. And it's like, that's just awesome, right, for him to say that, like, as a reply to this Jared guy. And, of course, Jared is the guy who killed his brother. So, pretty interesting. Then we see a little bit later on, what happens with this. But I thought that was just a badass, thing back to say. Awesome line, right? And I actually forgot about that a little bit, about his brother being killed by Jared there. That actually kind of escaped my mind. That was back in season 7. So, very interesting though, and really great line. I'm liking Henry so far. Obviously I don't want him to keep, being a murderous, little, I think he's like 12, little 12-year-old, but I mean, still, right, he's pretty badass. So, anyways, then we see Gabriel and Carson find a house in the woods to rest at. So that was, interesting, right? So then we find out that Gabriel is slowly losing his eyesight due to the medication he's on, and it may even be permanent damage to his eyesight if I guess if he didn't get the proper, antibiotics or something like that. So anyways, so that's interesting, right? That's obviously going to be a disability for him going forward. Or not a disability, but it's definitely going to, affect his ability to fight and his ability to, help in the war, right? But in terms of, after the war, of him just being a pastor, no, I don't think that's really going to affect him that much. I mean, I'm pretty sure, his role as a pastor, he doesn't need to have, amazing eyesight or whatever, right? But, anyways, so, but then we find out he's still relying on his faith, even though he's been, handed down this tough circumstance, with his eyesight not being, great. And honestly, a lot of people predicted that he'd be dead by now with this infection or whatever, but he's still alive. He seems to be fine in every other sense, really, but just his eyes now are kind of, screwed up. So anyways, he's still relying on his faith. He's believing in God now more than ever. So that was kind of a theme going on in this whole episode with Gabriel. And then we also see that Gabriel then, he's sitting on the bed, and he finds these little pill jars, or little pill bottles, and it's actually antibiotics, which is exactly what he needs to help him out with the eyesight and the other stuff, the infection. And Carson says, this may just save your life or whatever. Pretty crazy, right? And that kind of proves his faith, right? That he's, believing in God, and that, he finds his antibiotics right there in the house. So, pretty interesting there, and that theme, goes on in the rest of the episode. Then we see Negan question Eugene about Carson and Gabriel escaping. And, I don't know, like, I feel like in this scene, Eugene is just way too, suspect in a way, right? Like, I don't know, it just feels like he always, when he's talking to Negan, he always seems like so afraid. And I guess that's what Negan likes about him, right? That he's afraid of him. Because Simon, I don't think he's too afraid of him right now. So, he kind of likes that, I think. But, yeah, Eugene just seems like way too guilty when he talks to Negan. And like the thing with Sasha too, like he seemed like really guilty. Like if I was Negan, I definitely, suspect this guy, but he trusts him. So anyways, he questioned him about Carson and Gabriel escaping, and obviously we know that Eugene did help them. So then Negan also tells him that he's going to establish his bullet-making factory that he told Negan about. So Negan's now going to get him to do that because they need ammo. They've wasted all the ammunition getting out of the sanctuary, and I'm thinking they're pretty low. Like, I mean pretty low, right? That's also why they developed this tactic towards the end of the episode as well, because they don't have a lot of ammunition right now. Like, I think the survivors definitely have a lot more. Now, do the saviors have more guns and more people still? I would say yes. But in terms of ammo, I don't think they have, even close to as much as the survivors right now. So yeah, he's going to establish that factory, and then other people are going to work for him there and stuff like that. He's basically going to be the leader of that place, and he also says you're going to be the leader of your very own outpost, right? So that's a pretty big honor as well. Now, I'm not sure if this means that, that Negan knows Gavin's dead, and so now Eugene is taking over his outpost. I'm not exactly sure. I don't think that's quite what Negan means. I think he just means the bullet-making factory is, Eugene's outpost. But that could also mean that. But I don't think Negan knows that Gavin's dead yet. Which I think that's going to be a big blow once he finds that out. So I could be wrong, though. Maybe he does know already. I'm not sure. So then we see, we're back with the survivors in the forest there. And Dwight helps them out again. This is what I'm saying. Like, he has been helpful to the survivors. I don't understand why some of them still don't trust him. But anyways, Dwight tells the group about the swamps that the saviors have ruled off limits, right? So the group knows that the saviors are trying to stop them from getting to the hilltop, right? The saviors are going to try to capture these group of Alexandrians. So they want to go to a place, where the saviors aren't going to go. And Dwight tells them, yeah, the swamps are the right place, Negan ruled that off limits because it's not safe enough, so we can go through the swamps undetected, right? And then we see Tara questioning them again, and Dwight says, I've chosen a side, and this is it, right? That, this is my side. I'm with you guys. I'm with, the fight against Negan. And I thought that this line was also big, too, when he said, I don't know exactly word for word, but he said, I'm here to fight Negan. I'm here, to kill Negan with you guys. And then after that, I know what's going to happen or whatever. So he knows that he's probably going to get killed after the war by Daryl or Tara or Rosita or someone, right? He knows that he's going to get killed after the war, which is like, I don't know, it's kind of interesting. I'd like to see him survive, honestly. I feel like he's kind of redeemed himself. I don't see him as a bad guy anymore. I really see him as a helper to the survivors at this point. But yeah, maybe he will get killed. I think actually there's a pretty good chance he will get killed by one of them. So anyways, Tara's still not trusting him though, right? She still doesn't trust him, and then we see this whole sequence. So she gets him to come out. She gets him to come out with her into the woods a little bit to kill some walkers. And we know at this point that she's kind of luring him out there, right? She's luring him away from the group, and then he's gonna do whatever she wants to do. So then he kills the walker, and then she actually holds him at gunpoint, and is threatening him or whatever, and saying that she's gonna kill him or whatever. And Dwight's pleading for his life, I would say, but not fully. Like, he wasn't like on his knees or whatever, but he was definitely, he didn't want to die. So he's kind of like behind a tree. He's kind of hovering behind the tree there, and she actually pulls the trigger. I didn't think that was going to happen. I thought she was just going to put the gun down and then they were going to go back. But she actually pulls the trigger. So she pulled the trigger. It just grazes the edge of the tree there, and he hides, and then he runs away, right? So she kind of chases him down into this field, and then Dwight just kind of stops because he's out of breath, and Tara is able to catch up to him finally, and put her gun at him again, right? Point her gun at him, and now they're far enough away, so no one's probably even gonna hear the gunshot. Well, they might hear the gunshot, but they're definitely not gonna know, like, you know, Dwight has been killed or whatever. So, anyways, they're in a good spot here. They kind of get into a field, and then all of a sudden, these group of saviors come and totally distract them. So then they go and hide in the bushes. And I thought this was really cool, the way that this whole thing happens. So then we see Dwight and Tara are there, and Tara's like telling him to be quiet and holding the gun still at him. And then Dwight, I mean, this is a ballsy move, right? Because he had a lot to risk here, a lot to lose. So then he walks out of the bushes and acts like he's with them again, right? He acts like he's, you know, just a savior again. And this was pretty intense, right? And then he asked, you know, oh, did Laura make it back or whatever? And they said, you know, oh, sorry, Dwight, no. You know, and they tell him that Laura hasn't made it back yet. And of course, that's the woman savior who saw him fire at his own side, right? So she knows him, but she's about the only one who knows the truth, right? So it really matters on her. If she gets back to Negan, he's pretty much dead, right? But if she doesn't, he's still able to play both sides. So interesting. So yeah, we know that she hasn't made it back yet, so that means nobody has found out about him yet, and that's the best news I think that the survivors could ask for, because now they still have their inside man in the sanctuary, you know, like not just with them telling them, you know, tips and details, but no, he's literally in the sanctuary and he's working for them. So that's really good news there that Laura hasn't made it back. I'm not sure if she's dead or what has happened. I feel like she's definitely going to come back and some shit's going to go down. But anyways, so yeah. So then Dwight tells the group of saviors, they say, oh, we're going to go to the swamp and check. But he's like, no, I was just there. You don't have to go to the swamp. So he draws them away from the group to save them, right? And that's that proves his loyalty right there, I would say. And that's an intense scene, right? We don't know what's going to happen there. That's pretty nerve-wracking. And then he just walks off with the rest of the saviors back to the sanctuary and saves the group. So I thought that was really good proof of his loyalty there. So we see back at the hilltop, and we see a lot about the hilltop, right? In this episode, I feel like it's a little bit hilltop themed in a way. But yeah, so the Kingdom Girl then tells Maggie about the rations, how they're getting worse and worse, and the main factor is the prisoners, right? A decision may have to be made about what to do with them, because, you know, if we want to keep feeding them, we want to keep them alive, we're going to suffer the consequences, right, with our own people and, you know, us not having enough food. So the Hilltops is quickly running out of food here, and it makes sense, right, because the Hilltop is not designed for the amount of people that are there right now. So it makes sense, right, that they're running out of food, but also, like, the farming, you know, community as well. So I don't know what all happened to the farming stuff. I guess maybe, like, it's just not doing well right now. I don't know. Or they just, like, simply just can't keep up with the volume. That might be it, too. So a decision has to be made about the prisoners, basically. You know, you're going to have to either cut the rations, let them die, or let them go, or something, right? You know, if you're going to put our people first, right? And so, yeah, so then we later on see, now the one savior, I don't know his name, but he's the one who always talks to Maggie. He actually seemed like a good guy, kind of like sticking up for his people, but also caring about her and the Hilltop people as well. I feel like he's kind of like the one savior who's kind of, you know, nice, but I feel like if you let him go, he's definitely, you know, he's going to kill someone, right? Like, you know, none of the saviors are that good, right? But so Maggie tells this guy that she's decided to cut down their rations. So she does make the decision to cut down their rations. And she says she's not going to cut a deal with them and let them out of the little prison or the cell that she has them in, because they were begging for that. And Gregory, I love how this man's still alive. Like, somehow he's still alive and he's just, you know, in the cell with the rest of the saviors. It's just hilarious. I'm surprised they haven't beat him up, to be honest, or done something to him. But anyway, he's just annoying. But I don't know. I just like Gregory. I just feel like he's so funny. And the fact that he's still alive is just hilarious in itself anyways. But anyways, so she makes a decision. Another, you know, kind of a leader decision, a decision that a leader would have to make. And Maggie's learning the ropes here a little bit. and she's deciding to cut their rations, and she's gonna keep them inside. But she wants to keep them alive. She's not gonna let them go, because that's not really an option right now, right? They are a big asset in this war. So yeah, so she's just gonna cut the rations, and obviously that's gonna affect them. I mean, they're probably gonna lose some weight, and they're probably gonna be, like starving in a sense. But her people first, right? She's prioritizing. So then we see that Gabriel actually saves Carson. So they go out of the house, and he's, I guess, walking around at the back or whatever, something like that, to find the car. They find the keys in the piggy bank or whatever like that. So again, just more things proving Gabriel's faith, right? That God is really with him and helping him right now. Just, more and more things proving that. So then he's able to save Carson from the walkers that come, after he gets stuck in a trap, in a bear trap on his foot there, outside the house. So yeah, that was pretty cool. And again, you see that, just really, hammered in that, Gabriel's faith is proving to, carry him. And it's actually convincing Carson too. Like, Carson's actually becoming convinced of this as well. That, this is, faith is real. Like, all this stuff can't just be, coincidentally happening. Like, God is, has a hand in what's going on right now, and he's helping us, right? So yeah, surprising he's able to make the shot and save Carson, right? That's a pretty slim chance that, his eyesight is pretty damn bad, and he's able to land a shot like that, and then a really specific shot too, right to this walker, and actually save Carson. So yeah, you got to think, okay, well, maybe God is, with him or helping him right now, because how the hell did he make that shot otherwise, right? So anyway, so yeah, it just, that whole belief is just, getting hammered in, like I said. So then they get back to the garage, they get in the truck, and, they're kind of celebrating, they're real happy, that they're going to make it out, that that they're going to make it back to the hilltop, and then the saviors come and they find them. So yeah, so obviously the saviors are drawn from that gunfire, and then that Gabriel fires at the walkers, and I think Carson fired at them too. So obviously that's going to give them away, and the saviors weren't too far away in that truck either, right? So they weren't that far, and so obviously they heard the gunfire, that brought them to them. And I love that the saviors, they're like, hands up, assholes, or whatever. Like, that's just total savior thing to do. But it was a bit surprising. I didn't expect that. I didn't expect that they'd get caught. I just expected that they'd get to the hilltop. But yeah, saviors come back, and they take them back to the forest then, where the truck is. So then Carson is taken to the truck with Gabriel, right? Gabriel is sitting on the truck, whatever. So then they take Carson, they put him up on the flatbed, on the back of the truck there. And then Carson sees that the one savior, his gun is kind of hanging out of his side pouch there, or his side holster. The gun is a little bit hanging out, right, of it, and so he thinks that he can grab it and actually and kill him, or at least stand somewhat of a chance. Like, I think Carson knows in his mind that, he's not going to be able to kill everyone. Like, he's probably going to die in this situation. But at least it's a chance, right? At least it's a chance. And then he tells Gabriel, that, God is, or faith, this is faith, that this guy's gun is loose and that he can grab it and take this, opportunity, right? He thinks that, faith is providing this opportunity. So he actually goes out, being convinced of what Gabriel tries to tell him through this whole journey that they go through, right? So it's pretty interesting. So anyways, he tries grabbing one of the men's gun from his side, but before he can shoot, he gets shot and killed. So this was a surprising death. I was honestly in front of the TV. I was pretty surprised about this. I did not expect Carson to go in this one. Really surprising. And again, another doctor dead. So both the doctors are dead. The one was thrown in a freaking fireplace, and the other is shot and killed. And I like the savior, and he's like, that was the doctor. Like, what are you doing? They were actually pissed at him. And I mean, that's a huge screw up for that savior to shoot the one doctor that they have. Obviously, they don't know about Sadiq yet, but yeah, that's a big deal, right, for them to accidentally shoot the doctor. But anyway, so Carson is killed, and that just shows the saviors, they just push his body off and they just drive off. I mean, really, I don't know, it's just a little disrespectful. And Gabriel's broken by this, right? He's just absolutely broken, and maybe faith wasn't on their side, right? If Carson dies after all of this, is that really gonna, reaffirm that faith for Gabriel? Probably not, right? He's probably gonna be affected by this, and we see this a little bit later in the episode as well. So yeah, tough there, unexpected death, and now this makes Sadiq very important, right? Because now he's basically the only doctor in this world, or at least in this war. So that's going to be very big. I think he's going to play a very big role, and I think Carl going to save them is also going to be very important. So then we see Daryl and Sadiq. They fight through some walkers in the swamp there to clear a path for the group, right, so that they can get across the swamp and get back to the hilltop. So then eventually they cross it, and we didn't even see that, by the way. I would have liked to see that included, that them trying to traverse the swamp, but we just, kind of just skipped to them at the gate of the hilltop. I don't know. I just felt like they kind of skipped over some stuff there, trying to save some time. They definitely could have cut some time from Gabriel and Carson's story for this, but whatever. Anyways, they cross the swamp, make it to the hilltop. This is a very emotional part of the episode, probably the most emotional part, where the people from the hilltop find out about Carl's death. So they all walk into the hilltop, and they're kind of, down in the dumps, and all these hilltop people are really happy to see them and everything. And then, you just kind of get that impression oh, we've lost someone, and they kind of look around, they don't see Carl, and yeah, so really unfortunate, right, to see that. And Enid, very emotional. This was really sad to see her reaction to it. I mean, her and Carl were at least friends, maybe even more than that, and this was really tough to see. So anyways, very emotional part there when the group gets back, but at least the group gets to the hilltop, right? They finally get there. And then we see Morgan that lies to Henry and tells him that Gavin killed his brother instead of Jared, the guy who he literally just talked to. So yeah, he lies to him, but I agree with this. I think he's just saving Henry from his own demise, really. Because if he goes and tries to murder Jared, what is that going to do, right? I mean, yeah, you killed Jared, but you're kind of turning this kid into a serial killer, that's not really going to help anyone. So he tells him, you killed Gavin, you already got him, he killed your brother, and, I feel like Henry's definitely going to find out in the future that that was a lie, and that's going to create some drama. But anyways, for now, I think it's a good decision. Then also we see Sadiq offer his help in the infirmary too, which is a nice thing there. So then we get a big sequence here with Negan. I mean, this is pretty crazy. This was probably the biggest part of the episode here. So he brings Gabriel back to the bullet-making factory where Eugene is set up now. And this is kind of cool. I mean, he just enters and he has a bunch of these guys with him. So Gabriel told them, or Negan tells Eugene, that Gabriel told him that Carson was the one who helped them escape rather than Eugene. So Gabriel's sticking up for Eugene here. I mean, if I was Gabriel, I probably wouldn't, right? But he's sticking up for Eugene. He's not gonna, he's not gonna tell on him or whatever. And you can see on Eugene's face, he's pretty damn thankful. I don't think he really trusted Gabriel to lie to Negan. But anyways, Negan then tells Eugene that the bullets they will not suffice. They won't be ready fast enough after Eugene, tells him, oh yeah, this is going to take a lot of time. We're not going to have anything ready anytime soon, right? And he says that's not going to be ready fast enough. We need something else. And I don't think Negan is really patient anymore, right? He knows that this war needs to end soon. So Eugene, kind of talks about random stuff, firing zombie limbs and guts out of cannons or something like that, and it's kind of, not funny, but I mean Eugene is just basically saying just random stuff, right? To hopefully something sticks with Negan. He doesn't know what to say really, so he tells him all this stuff, and then the zombie guts, that part. So this gives Negan the idea. Right? This kind of pops into his head, and he says, sweet Jesus or something, that's, man, I forget the line, but anyways, he says, oh, that's a great idea or something like that, to Eugene. He's Eugene's so confused. He's I just said some random stuff, and, Negan just thought one of these ideas was good. I don't know. So Negan, this gives him the idea that if you get rubbed with the insides of the walkers, maybe that will infect you, right? Maybe what's in those guts will infect you. Maybe that'll actually turn you into a zombie yourself, just if you get rubbed with these guts. Because something has to be inside these walkers that when they bite you or scratch you, that it can get on you, right? So he thinks that maybe if you're rubbed or even injected with, the stuff on the insides, maybe that can infect you. So crazy stuff, right? So then he tells the Saviors this plan with Lucille in hand. Right, he's in front of all the Saviors, and then we see that Dwight is back there, by the way. He's at the sanctuary now, back with Negan, and he goes to, the front of the group there. and sees this, and Negan's kind of putting on this demonstration where he digs into a walker on the fence and like kind of rubs it around, and he says, and he says, dead or alive, or whatever kind of shit this is, right? So that was kind of the name of the episode, of course, Dead or Alive, or kind of a strange episode name, but anyways, makes sense, right? With this line here. So, very ruthless tactic if it works, right? If it works, this is crazy. Like, this is biological warfare, right? Like, this is, next level, right? If you can infect people from just shooting, the insides of walkers, or at least, like, trying to rub them and stuff. And I've heard about the storyline in the comics, obviously. I'm not going to spoil anything, but if you read the comics, what happens with this idea. This is, straight from the comics, right? I'm skeptical. I don't think it's going to work. Because, why would someone not think of this earlier? I don't know. It just seems like a little bit false. I don't think it's going to work. But Negan thinks it's going to work, and the Saviors, I think, are going to stick with it, and they're going to try it out. So, very interesting to see. We'll have to see if it does work. Maybe it does. Maybe it is going to work, and maybe it's going to be, their number one tactic, or maybe it might backfire on them. Who knows, right? But we'll have to see. And then at the very end of the episode, Rick and Michonne arrive at the hilltop. Someone yells to open the gates, and he's like, "It's Rick!" And, everyone's just kind of, happy, kind of excited to see Rick back finally. And now we get the whole group is now together, and their leader is now present as well. So everyone's together, everyone's, back, meshed, all together there at the hilltop, and now they're ready to fight, right? They're ready for this fight that's going to ensue in the next few episodes. So crazy stuff here, and very, very exciting at the end of the episode there to see everyone back together and everything like that. So yeah, crazy stuff. That'll just about do it for the recap. Now I'll just quickly touch on my rating, favorite character, and some overall thoughts. Alright, so in terms of a rating for this one, I'm going to give it a 4.3 out of 5. So I believe this is just a little bit worse than last episode. Like I said at the beginning, I liked last episode better. This one was probably the first bottle episode feeling of the half. I wouldn't say last episode felt like a bottle episode, because you had a lot of characters in there and a lot of storylines, but I feel like this one was a little bit bottled up. I feel like this one was mainly hilltop focused. Everything was about the hilltop, like getting to the hilltop, actually in the hilltop, fighting against the hilltop. Like everything was kind of themed in that realm there. And what else really is there, right? That is kind of what's going on. It's the hilltop now versus the sanctuary. But anyways, I feel like it was a little bit bottled up here. And I thought the journey with Gabriel seemed like a little bit of a waste of time, because, we saw about 20 minutes probably of episode where, Kim and Carson are going on this journey. They're trying to make it to the hilltop. And then Carson dies in the end, and Gabriel just makes it right back to the sanctuary and is caught. So, I don't know. It just seemed like a little bit of a waste of time in that whole storyline. Definitely some character development for Gabriel, but outside of that, I didn't really see much of a purpose for that. And again, Tara getting mad at Dwight. I get it for Denise, but I don't know. I don't know how you still don't trust the guy after he's done all these things for you. But anyways, I guess, him doing what he did this episode kind of may actually affect that, and may actually, make Tara trust him again. I don't know, but we'll have to see. So anyways, just a couple things that were kind of negative. Definitely a lot of positives. This concept that Negan has developed is going to be really interesting going forward. And man, a sneak peek for next episode. I saw it on Talking Dead and also the AMC YouTube channel if you want to go check that out. Oh, it looks really good. Next episode is going to be very good. Mark my words. Maybe even the best episode of this half. Maybe better than episode 10 or episode 9, sorry. So, really looking forward to that. Really looking forward to that. And there were some cliffhangers in this one too. So that was interesting. Definitely some stuff to see in the future. Favorite character for this one is going to be Dwight, played by Austin Emilio. I haven't really focused on him this whole season, really. But yeah, Austin Emilio is doing a great job. I feel like he really has brought this character Dwight to life. We met him back in season 6, right? He's been in the show for a long time, but just kind of in and out. And I'd say he's kind of like a B character, right? Not part of the main lineup, but definitely a B, right? He's in most episodes, I would say. And he has a pretty big part in the show. So, anyways, I really like character Dwight, how he's went from, stone cold Negan, right, to now totally against him and fighting with the survivors, and being the inside man, playing both sides. So, really great stuff there from Dwight. I feel like they've really taken his character and really developed it into something really, really great. He's basically like Daryl 2.0, right? And that's why a lot of people hate him too. He's really a hateable character because of, him basically taking Daryl. And of course, Daryl is our, favorite character in the show for a lot of people. So, anyways, yeah, but I feel like they're doing great with his character. I really hope he survives the war. I really hope he survives till season 9. I just think he's a great character to have around. But again, I mean, yeah, do you really need him if you have Daryl? Probably not, right? You don't really need 2 motorcycle, bow and arrow, guys, but yeah, you could have them, right? Yeah, I mean, you could. I feel like, Dwight and Daryl's relationship going forward, if you were to live past season 8, would definitely have to improve, because right now Daryl kind of wants to kill him. So, anyways, but yeah. So that'll just about wrap up the review for this week. I apologize for this one going a little bit over length here. I feel like I'm trying to apologize for that every week, but I'm trying to get these down a little bit. So anyways, just stick with me. I'm trying. But anyways, thank you so much for watching this one. Thank you so much for the recent support on my videos. I think we're at close to 27,000 video views. Crazy stuff, man. This channel is doing really well, and I think like 63 subscribers last time I checked. So really growing really fast, and I really, really appreciate it. I can't thank you guys enough. So, yeah. So anyways, thank you so much for watching once again, and I'll see you next week for episode 12. I'm telling you guys, it's going to be a really good episode, and, yeah, please check out the sneak peeks as well on the AMC YouTube channel if you're interested in that. So, anyways, like I said, once again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week for my review of episode 12.